Every day you choose to move, your body responds with strength, balance, and renewed life. Each gentle motion is a gift to yourself, calm, mindful, and full of vitality. Together we move, we heal, and we thrive. Keep the rhythm of your golden years. Nurture health, cherish every movement. A comprehensive guide to essential exercises for people over 60. As we grow older, staying strong, steady, and independent becomes more than a goal. It becomes a necessity. Across the world, researchers now agree that targeted, consistent movement is one of the most powerful ways to slow and even reverse many effects of aging. Yet for many older adults, the idea of exercise still conjures up images of heavy gym equipment or intimidating fitness routines. In reality, just a few simple functional movements performed regularly at home can dramatically improve strength, balance, and circulation. These carefully chosen exercises focus on what matters most as we age, preserving muscle mass, maintaining coordination, and protecting the joints that support everyday life. By practicing them consistently, you can restore energy, move with greater confidence, and keep doing the things you love without pain or fear of falling. So grab a sturdy chair, clear a small space, and let's begin a journey to stronger legs, better balance, and renewed vitality after 60. This pamphlet offers a detailed framework for a realistic exercise program intended for adults aged 60 and older. The emphasis is on exercises that improve leg strength, increase postural stability and balance, and foster healthy circulation. Regular participation in these exercises can diminish fall incidence, preserve mobility for daily tasks, and enhance the musculoskeletal, cardiovascular, and neurological systems vital for functional autonomy. The human body has a remarkable capacity for adaptation over time, and the administration of regular, appropriately adjusted physical stimulation is the essential element that facilitates beneficial change. The next sections examine the physiological rationale for each proposed activity, provide clear step-by-step instructions and progressions, and offer guidance on developing a safe, sustainable training regimen that can be integrated into daily routines. Understanding the physiological requirements of aging. Prior to outlining specific exercises, it is crucial to analyze the fundamental physiological concerns that these movements seek to resolve. Aging involves specific anticipated changes in anatomy and physiology. Nonetheless, these should not be seen as inevitable, irreversible decrees. Rather, they are processes that may be managed and alleviated through structured physical activity and judicious lifestyle choices. Sarcopenia, the progressive deterioration of muscle mass. Sarcopenia refers to the age-associated decline in skeletal muscle mass and strength. Muscle mass begins to drop as early as the third decade of life, with the rate of degeneration often accelerating around the age of 60. The reduction of muscular tissue is not merely a cosmetic change. It directly affects functionality. The leg muscles represent the largest muscular groups in the body and are crucial for sustaining an upright posture, rendering them often among the most affected. The functional consequences include decreased walking speed, shortened stride length, increased difficulty in standing from a chair or bathtub, and greater dependence on mobility aids. Leg strength is crucial for daily mobility, including walking, climbing stairs, and transferring between seats and beds. Therefore, maintaining or rebuilding muscle through resistance and functional exercises is vital for preserving independence. Muscle tissue is metabolically active and has tasks beyond force generation. It assists in glucose regulation, bone loading, which enhances bone density and thermogenesis. Resistance and functional training promote muscle protein. Synthesis improve neuromuscular coordination and may mitigate muscle atrophy. Minor improvements in lower limb strength lead to considerable advances in daily functioning and reduce the risk of falls. Notably, strength improvements can be achieved at almost any age, as neurological adaptations, increased motor unit recruitment, and coordination occur swiftly with training and greatly facilitate initial advancement. Equilibrium and proprioception, the mechanisms that maintain stability. Balance is a composite function dependent on three principal sensory systems: The visual system provides guidance via sight. The vestibular system, situated in the inner ear, perceives head movement and spatial orientation, and the proprioceptive system comprises sensors in muscles and joints that transmit information regarding body position to the brain. With advancing age, the sensitivity and speed of these systems, as well as the reflex pathways that link them, sometimes diminish. Reaction times decline, and the ability to execute rapid unconscious adjustments for equilibrium preservation is impaired. This is one reason why minor disturbances, a rug edge, a puddle, or a curb, can lead to falls that would have previously been easily prevented. Falls constitute a prominent cause of both fatal and non-fatal injuries in the elderly, frequently resulting in skeletal fractures, reduced self-confidence, and a subsequent decline in activity that exacerbates physical deterioration. Balance exercise promotes the retraining of neuromuscular networks, improving the interaction between sensory inputs and motor outputs, honing reflexes and strengthening the small stabilizer muscles, vital for maintaining upright posture and recovering from perturbations. Balance training produces both immediate and lasting effects. Immediate improvements generally signify enhanced sensory integration and increased focus, while lasting advantages stem from strengthened stabilizing muscles and more efficient anticipatory posture adjustments. Participating in balancing exercises in challenging environments, reduced visual stimulation, unstable surfaces, or dynamic activities improves resilience. Since balance is an acquired motor ability, deliberate practice often leads to rapid and substantial functional improvement. Circulatory health. The role of the calf as the second heart. The circulatory system experiences age-related changes. The walls of veins may lose elasticity, and the unidirectional valves that prevent backflow may become less effective, increasing the likelihood of blood pooling in the lower extremities. These changes may manifest as edema, a feeling of heaviness, soreness, and the development of varicose veins. A notable vascular risk associated with reduced venous return is deep vein thrombosis (DVT), defined by the creation of a clot in a deep leg vein that might detach and travel to the lungs, causing a pulmonary embolism. The calf muscles are crucial for alleviating circulatory problems. Their contraction compresses deep leg veins and aids in the upward flow of blood to the heart, acting as a mechanical pump. The calf is frequently referred to as the body's second heart. Regular activation of the calf muscles through simple exercises markedly improves venous return and reduces the likelihood of related complications. In addition to immediate circulation benefits, regular calf activation improves local muscular endurance, ankle flexibility, and gait propulsion, hence promoting a more effortless and efficient walking experience. Individuals who remain seated for prolonged periods, such as during travel or desk work, can reduce venous stasis and improve long-term vascular health by occasional calf contractions and ankle movements. Cognitive and neurological benefits of physical activity. Physical activity boosts muscle and vascular function while promoting cognitive health. Tasks that assess coordination and balance require complex interactions among the brain, peripheral nerves, muscles, and joints. This engagement stimulates neural circuits and improves both functional connectivity and cognitive processing. Research consistently shows that older adults engaged in regular physical activity that includes coordination and balance components often experience improvements in memory concentration and cognitive clarity, alongside a diminished chance of developing severe neurodegenerative disorders. Participating in practice and learning movements improves cognitive skills, including pattern recognition, motor planning, and attention, while increased blood circulation from exercise supplies oxygen and nutrients to the brain, fostering cellular health. Exercise reduces risk factors for vascular cognitive impairment, hypertension, insulin resistance, obesity, and dyslipidemia, thereby indirectly protecting cognitive function. The social aspects of exercise, including group activities and walking with companions, improve mental health and reduce loneliness, a factor linked to cognitive deterioration. Tasks requiring simultaneous engagement, such as balancing while reciting a list, can be highly effective in concurrently improving cognitive and motor skills. A regimen comprising 5 essential exercises. The following 5 exercises form a basic at-home routine addressing the essential needs of older adults, lower limb strength balance, and proprioception and circulatory support. None of these exercises require specialized equipment. Each action can be tailored to align with an individual's current fitness level and any medical limitations. Universal principles relevant to all exercises. Commence at a deliberate tempo and progress gradually. Ensure enough recuperation for high-load exercises. Emphasize the quality of movement above the quantity. Controlled mobility reduces joint stress and the risk of injury. Employ a robust surface and supportive footwear for activities necessitating extended standing. Upon experiencing pain, dizziness, chest discomfort, or unusual symptoms, discontinue activities and consult a healthcare professional. Consider including fundamental equipment, resistance bands, ankle weights, or a step to augment intensity as strength progresses. Participate in a warm-up before and a cool-down after exercises to reduce injury risk and improve comfort. Keep a record of exercises sets, repetitions, and any symptoms to monitor progress and guide adjustments. 1. The squat re-establishing essential strength. The squat is recognized as a very effective functional exercise because it closely mimics the typical activities of sitting and standing. This intricate exercise activates multiple muscle groups, concurrently making it an efficient choice for improving lower body strength, hence promoting safer and easier performance of daily tasks. The squat primarily strengthens the quadriceps, gluteus maximus, and hamstrings, while also activating the core and lower back muscles for stability. By strengthening these muscles, the squat effectively reduces sarcopenia and improves the capacity to do activities such as standing from a low seat, stepping onto curbs, lifting light objects from the ground, and climbing stairs. Strong legs offer the necessary strength and stability for independent movement and reduce the likelihood of dependence on walking aids. Thorough protocols and modifications. Chair-assisted squat beginner. Setup. Stand in front of a stationary chair without wheels with feet positioned approximately shoulder-width apart and toes slightly turned outward. Adjust the chair to facilitate a comfortable seated position. Movement. Commence by drawing back the hips as if prepared to take a seat. Flex both knees and lower yourself with accuracy until the hips lightly touch or near the chair. Elevate the thorax, retract the scapulae, and maintain a neutral spinal position. Prohibit the knees from angling inward. Exert pressure through the heels and mid-foot to attain complete standing. Directives. Recline, do not lower. Sustain weight on the heels. Lift the chest. Progression. Gradually reduce reliance on the chair over several weeks by softly touching it or removing it after confidence is established. Sit to stand, functional variation. Setup. Sit at the front edge of a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor and shoulder-width apart. Movement. Cross the arms over the chest to restrict motion, lean slightly forward. Engage the core and apply force through the heels to attain an upright posture. Exhibit poise while seated. Practical guidance. This pattern replicates daily tasks and is particularly advantageous for improving independence in transfers. Wall squat and partial squat, intermediate level. Position. Stand with your back against a wall or slightly distanced from a countertop. Feet aligned at hip width apart. Movement. Perform a half squat to a comfortable depth, approximately 45 degrees of knee flexion, ensuring that the knees are aligned over the toes and do not stretch excessively beyond them. Execute a brief pause, then elevate. Advantage partial squats reduce knee compressive forces while efficiently activating the extensor muscles. Tempo and isometric variations. Progression. A diminished velocity, 3 to 4 seconds for descent, 1 to 2 seconds for stabilization, 2 seconds for ascent, augments time under tension and muscular regulation. Integrate brief pauses at the end, or perform slow, eccentric-only repetitions to improve targeted strength. Integrate light resistance, such as a resistance band placed above the knees, light hand weights, or a backpack with a moderate load when bodyweight exercises become facile. Complex functional impairments. Box squat's deliberate lowering to a subordinate platform, goblet squat with a moderate weight held at the chest if permitted and safe. Step up, see the progression section as a functional supplement. Common mistakes and corrections. Medially deviated knees. Concentrate on externally rotating the knees. Augment hip abductor strength via lateral leg raises and clamshell exercises. Rising onto toes, indicate the application of pressure through the heels. Evaluate foot alignment and distribute weight uniformly across the heel and midfoot. Rounding the back. Maintain a lifted chest and engaged core. Employ a mirror or feedback from a caregiver. Gradual descent. Reduce the speed of the lowering phase to ensure joint stability and muscle engagement. Recommended frequency and volume. The demanding nature of squats as a strength exercise necessitates training every other day about 3 times weekly to provide adequate recovery and muscle regeneration. Aim for 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 15 repetitions in each session, depending on ability, employing more repetitions for muscular endurance and lower repetitions for strength. Adjust load and depth to maintain task appropriateness. If the final repetition is insufficiently challenging, consider increasing depth, decreasing tempo, or incorporating resistance, small dumbbells, or a resistance band around the thighs. 2. The calf raise. Activating the second heart. Calf raises seem simple, but offer considerable benefits for lower leg circulation and ankle stability. Calf raises engage the gastrocnemius and soleus muscles, so triggering the venous pump mechanism that facilitates venous return to the heart. The primary benefit of calf raises is improved venous return from the lower limbs, which helps decrease swelling, alleviate venous stasis, and minimize the risk of varicose veins and deep vein thrombosis, DVT. Strong calf muscles stabilize the ankle joint, decreasing the risk of sprains and enhancing push-off when walking. Improved propulsive strength results in greater walking endurance and reduced perceived weariness during everyday ambulation. Thorough protocols and modifications. Standard supported calf raise. Stance. Face a wall countertop or the back of a sturdy chair for limited support. Feet aligned parallel and spaced at hip-width apart. Movement. Slowly rise onto the balls of the feet to lift the heels off the ground. Pause briefly at the summit to perceive the constriction, then descend with precision. Avoid bouncing. Duration 2. Seconds for ascent, 1 to 2. Seconds for rest, 2, 3 seconds for descent. Intermediate unilateral calf elevation. Setup. Stand close to a support and raise 1 foot slightly. Ensure the knee remains flexible and supportive. Movement ascend onto the forefoot of the supporting leg. For a full contraction, then lower gradually. Perform the set on one side, then proceed to transition. Advantage disturbs equilibrium and doubles the load on each calf. Elevated calf raise. Setup stand with the balls of both feet on the edge of a step, permitting your heels to drop below the step's level. Movement. Lower the heels into a stretch, then contract to raise the heels to their highest point. Progression. Utilize light hand-held weights or a lightly weighted backpack to increase intensity. Seated calf raise for prolonged sitting or limited standing. Position. Sit with feet resting flat on the floor and knees bent at a 90-degree angle. Movement raise heels while keeping toes on the ground, hold momentarily, then lower. Execute tasks in intervals throughout the day. Application advantageous for travel or for persons with limited standing endurance. Common mistakes and corrections. Utilizing momentum. Gradual controlled repetitions are ideal for improving venous circulation and muscle activation. To achieve full range of motion, employ a step to safely augment range contingent upon ankle mobility. Retain a slight flexion in the knee to preserve tension on the calf muscle, especially when utilizing a straight leg position. Recommended frequency and volume calf raise training primarily improves circulation rather than substantially augmenting muscular mass, rendering it appropriate for regular practice. Aim for 2 to 4 sets of 10 to 25 repetitions daily, distributed throughout the day if advantageous. Individuals suffering from edema due to prolonged sitting may benefit significantly from mini exercises every 30 to 60 minutes. Integrating calf raises into daily activities such as when waiting for the kettle during television advertisements or while brushing teeth improves adherence and cumulative benefits. 3. Unipedal posture. Enhancing the equilibrium mechanism. The single-leg stance poses a significant challenge to the body's balance systems. Reducing the base of support requires the synthesis of visual vestibular and proprioceptive information alongside the fortification of muscles and reflexes critical for balance maintenance. The main benefits of single-leg balance exercises are greater proprioception, improved stabilization of the ankle and hip joints, and refined reflexive responses to disturbances. These improvements are strongly associated with a reduced risk of falls in everyday scenarios, traversing uneven terrain, navigating crowded spaces, or recovering balance after a misstep. Regular practice bolsters confidence in one's ability to navigate safely. Thorough protocols and modifications. Supported single-leg stance beginner, set up, position yourself next to a wall stair railing or sturdy table and lightly place one hand on the support. Movement, shift weight onto one leg, raise the opposite foot several inches above the ground while keeping a slight bend in the standing knee. Focus on a fixed point at eye level. Sustain for 10 to 30 seconds. Progression. Gradually reduce hand pressure from complete palm contact to fingertip contact, ultimately attaining no contact. Unsupported single-leg stance, intermediate level. Movement. Sustain an unsupported standing posture for a duration of up to 60 seconds or perform many repetitions of single-leg stands lasting 10 to 20 seconds each. Variations. Modify the placement of the free foot anterior-posterior or slightly crossed to change the difficulty level. Single-leg stance with closed eyes advanced. Action. Close eyelids temporarily to remove visual stimuli. Initiate with brief holds, 3 to 5 seconds, and gradually increase the time. Consistently ensure that assistance is readily accessible. Dynamic unilateral activities. Progress to nuanced head rotations spanning the body, or the act of catching, throwing a lightweight ball while maintaining balance on one leg to improve reactive balance and dual-task proficiency. Common mistakes and corrections. Stabilizing the hip. Maintain a slight bend at the hip and knee to counteract minor disruptions. Breath retention. Sustain a consistent breath. Halting respiration increases tension and may lead to instability. Compensatory trunk leaning. Preserve alignment by strengthening hip abductors. Employ a mirror if required. Overtraining. Balance training prioritizes skill enhancement. Concise, consistent practice generally yields better outcomes than extended, arduous sessions. Proposed frequency and volume balance is a motor skill that improves with regular practice. Aim to perform balance exercises 3 to 5 times per week, using many brief standing intervals in each session. Quality surpasses duration. Perform several short, focused holds rather than one prolonged, unfocused effort. Integrate balance exercises following a concise warm-up when concentration is optimal. 4. The glute bridge hip raise. Strengthening the posterior chain. The glute bridge is an effective floor exercise for strengthening the gluteal muscles and hamstrings which comprise the posterior chain, sometimes weakened by prolonged sitting and inactivity. Primary benefits. Strong gluteal muscles are crucial for pelvic stability and the protection of the lower back. A deficiency in this domain results in a forward-flexed posture, reduced walking efficiency, and chronic lower back pain. The glute bridge strengthens the hip extensor muscles, improving posture, alleviating lumbar pain, and increasing power for walking, climbing stairs, and rising from a seated position. It improves the squat by focusing on the posterior musculature and promoting balanced lower limb strength. Thorough protocols and options. Traditional glute bridge. Position. Lie supine on a firm surface with knees bent and feet flat aligned at hip width. Arms rest beside the torso. Action. Engage the core and gluteal muscles. Exert pressure with the heels against the floor to raise the hips until a straight line is established from the shoulders to the knees. Avoid hyperextending the lumbar area. Contract the gluteal muscles at the peak for 2 to 3 seconds, then lower gradually. Directions. Activate the heels. Engage the gluteal muscles at the peak. Isometric glute bridge with prolonged hold. Movement. Sustain the apex position for 10-30 seconds to improve endurance and hip stability. Unilateral stability. Glute bridge march. Movement. From the elevated bridge posture, lift one foot and flex the knee towards the chest, switching legs in a marching sequence while maintaining a neutral pelvis. This evaluates unilateral control and core stability. Elevated bridge or single leg bridge, advanced. Movement: place one foot on an elevated surface or completely extend one leg during the bridge to increase the resistance on the activated glute. Proceed with prudence and only when proficiency is exemplary. Common mistakes and corrections. Arching the lumbar region. Ensure the gluteal muscles exert the predominant force. Envision a slight tuck of the coccyx at the peak. Activate the toes. Distribute weight towards the heels to engage the glutes rather than the quads. Controlled descent, manage the fall to maintain muscle activation and protect the lumbar spine. Recommended frequency and volume. The glute bridge may be performed 2 to 4 times per week with 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 15 repetitions or isometric holds lasting 10-30 plus seconds. Bridges are low-impact exercises suitable for anyone unable to perform standing strength training. 5. The side leg raise, standing hip abduction ensuring lateral stability. The side leg raise activates the hip abductor muscles, especially the gluteus medius, situated on the lateral aspect of the hip. These muscles are crucial stabilizers of the pelvis and maintain level hips during single-leg support periods of locomotion. The principal advantages are the avoidance of pelvic drop on the unsupported side during ambulation, a condition known as Trendelenburg gait, which reduces walking efficiency and may aggravate hip and lower back discomfort. Strengthening these muscles enhances lateral stability, improves gait mechanics, and protects the hip and knee from abnormal stressors. Thorough protocols and modifications. Aided lateral leg elevation. Setup. Align yourself against a wall or a sturdy chair for hand support, ensuring an erect posture with feet together and core engaged. Movement. Sustain an upright torso and horizontal hips while laterally lifting the outer leg to a height achievable without tilting the trunk. The movement must commence at the hip rather than at the foot or torso. Pause briefly at the summit, then descend with accuracy. Execute complete reps on one side before transitioning. Directives. Commence with the heel. Sustain a horizontal pelvis. Isometric side leg raise with sustained hold. Movement. Sustain the lifted leg at its peak for 5 to 10 seconds to improve endurance in the abductor muscles. Prone abduction, seated or supine variation. Position: lie on your side and raise the upper leg. This alteration reduces the necessity for balance and is advantageous for persons with standing limitations. Common mistakes and corrections. Trunk inclination. If inclination arises, diminish range of motion or augment core strength. Employ mirror feedback. Rotate the hip. Maintain the toes facing front to accomplish genuine abduction. Utilizing momentum. Ascend and drop progressively to emphasize muscle control. Recommended frequency and volume: perform side leg lifts 2 to 3 times per week, consisting of 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 15 reps each leg, focusing on intentional controlled motion while maintaining pelvic alignment. Formulating a secure and sustainable regimen. Understanding the workouts is an essential preliminary step. Nonetheless, consistent and safe execution yields lasting benefits. The concept of progressive overload, gradually increasing the intensity, duration, or complexity of exercises, applies here, but it must be balanced with sufficient rest, correct technique, and individual health factors. Exemplary weekly schedule. Comprehensive below are 2 sample schedules, one designed for beginners and another for individuals with moderate fitness levels aiming for rapid progress. Adjust frequency and amplitude based on recovery, fatigue, and medical guidance. Preliminary schedule 2-3 weeks to implement a regimen. Monday, strength and circulation. Chair-assisted squats, 2 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions. Glute bridges, 2 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. Assisted calf raises, 2 sets of 12-15 repetitions. Brief post-exercise stretching hamstrings, calves, gluteal muscles. Tuesday, equilibrium and mobility, supported single leg stance. 3 holds each leg. 10-20 seconds. Side leg raises standing or supine, 2 sets of 8-10 reps per side. Ankle rotations and gentle hip mobility exercises. Wednesday, active recovery. A relaxed stroll or seated ride lasting 15 to 25 minutes. Intermittent seated calf elevations. Thursday, focus on strength. Sit to stand, 2 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. Glute bridge holds, 2 holds lasting 10 to 20 seconds. Calf raises, 2 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions. Friday, balance and functionality. Balance exercises, supported single leg stance with head rotations, 3 repetitions per leg. Lying abductions, 2 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. Saturday, optional. Moderate recreational activities, gardening, prolonged walking. Sunday, rest or mild activity, rest or little physical activity, and breathing exercises. Intermediate schedule following 6 to 12 weeks according on comfort level. Monday, resistance training, execute squats or partial wall squats, 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. Glute bridges with a march, 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions. Calf lifts on an elevated surface, 3 sets of 12-20 repetitions. Tuesday, equilibrium and lateral stability, unsupported single leg stance, 3 to 5 holds per leg lasting 22 to 45 seconds. Side leg raises with isometric hold, 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps for each leg. Activities involving dynamic equilibrium, e.g., ball catching. Wednesday. Cardiovascular activity. A session of walking, cycling, or aquatic aerobics lasting 20 to 40 minutes. Thursday, resistance training, squats with tempo variations, 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. Single leg bridge or elevated bridge, 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions. Single leg calf raises, 2 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions for each leg. Friday, balance and dexterity. Unilateral progression workouts with occluded vision. Lateral stepping drills. Exercises that enhance hip and ankle mobility. Saturday, day of engaged recreation. Hiking, prolonged ambulation, dance instruction, or movement-oriented social engagement. Sunday, rest and recovery, gentle stretching, foam, rolling, self-myofascial release. Progression protocols. Weeks 1-4. Cultivate technique and ensure consistency. Begin with support and a little load. Utilize fewer repetitions while preserving correct form. Weeks 5-12. Incrementally increase repetitions, depth, range, or duration of holds. Initiate single-leg variations and integrate light resistance bands, ankle weights. Months 3 to 6. Introduce complexity by variations in pace. Progressive step-ups, reduced visual stimuli, and combined functional tasks, transporting objects while performing step-ups. Continuously assess targets and incrementally augment difficulty, heightened resistance, prolonged balance, stays integration of cognitive tasks during balancing exercises, or increased step height. Evaluating progress and setting goals, quantifiable metrics, 30-second chair. Stand test number of complete stands from the chair within a 30-second interval. Timed up and go. Tug stand. Navigate 3 meters, pivot return, and sit time recorded. Single leg stance. Maximum duration of unsupported bipedalism on one limb. 6-minute walk test distance. Covered in 6 minutes as a measure of endurance. Functional objectives. Exit the bathtub safely. walk to the nearby store without excessive fatigue, or carry groceries up one flight of stairs. Keep a clear record to detail workout type sets, repetitions, duration of holds, and felt exertion. Conduct a reassessment every 6 to 12 weeks. Recognize incremental achievements, additional repetitions, prolonged single-leg holds, deeper squats, or less reliance on hand support. Warm-up and cool-down specifications. Warm up 5 to 10 minutes. March in place or partake in leisurely strolling for 2 to 3 minutes to incrementally elevate heart rate. Ankle rotations, 10 reps each side in both directions. Execute hip circles or marching with hip elevation, 10 reps on each side. Execute 10 arm circles and 10 shoulder rolls to enhance upper body mobility. Gentle seated or standing, leg swings in a forward and backward motion, 8-10 repetitions per side within a comfortable range. Dynamic calf pumps, slight heel raises to stimulate the venous pump. Cool down and stretching, 5 to 10 minutes. Calf stretch 30 seconds per side, either standing or using a step. Hamstring stretch 30 seconds per side, seated or supine. Quadriceps stretch 20 to 30 seconds per side, standing with support. Hip flexor stretch 20 to 30 seconds per side, lunge position with support. Execute mild spinal rotations or the cat-cow pose while in a quadrupedal position if comfortable. Excellence in respiration, rhythm and movement. Breathe instinctively, inhale while descending and exhale during effort. Avoid executing the Valsalva maneuver, forceful breath holding, especially if hypertensive or afflicted with heart illness. Perform movements at a controlled tempo 2 to 4 seconds for the eccentric phase, lowering a brief pause, followed by 1 to 2 seconds for the concentric phase, lifting unless otherwise specified. Pursue fluid transitions and maintain unwavering focus on alignment. The caliber of movement reduces joint stress and augments brain learning. Equipment and fundamental instruments for secure progression, sturdy chair without wheels, resistance bands light to moderate, ankle weights commence with 0.51 kg and progress carefully. A stable platform or a low step for calf raises and step-ups. Non-slip exercise mat, lightweight dumbbells or water bottles to enhance resistance. Footwear designed for support with a non-slip sole. Securing bars or rails to improve stability. Extraordinary circumstances and modifications. Pre-existing conditions and post-operative considerations. Joint replacement. Comply with the instructions of the physician and physiotherapist. Post-hip or knee replacement surgery. Initial post-operative sessions concentrate on moderate range of motion and isometric activation, progressing to weight-bearing functional tasks when permitted. Avoid performing rapid or ballistic movements during the preliminary phases. Severe osteoporosis. Avoid intense spinal flexion and high-impact loading exercises. Focus on structured strength and balance training. Consult a specialist to develop a secure program emphasizing correct posture and safe loading methods. Cardiovascular disease. Obtain medical authorization. Evaluate exertion using the Borg rating of perceived exertion, aiming for moderate intensity, often 11 to 13 on a 6-20 scale, and remain alert for symptoms such as chest pain, significant dyspnea, lightheadedness, or vertigo. Comprehend target heart rate zones as advised by a healthcare practitioner. Arthritis, use pain as a benchmark. Limit unpleasant ranges, apply clinician-recommended anti-inflammatory strategies, and prioritize low-impact exercises such as bridges and partial squats. Adjusting pace, frequency, and depth often mitigates joint inflammation. Peripheral neuropathy or sensory loss. Emphasize observable safety measures, adequate support, suitable footwear, and supervision due to potentially reduced proprioceptive feedback. Incremental balance challenges and tactile cues can be advantageous. Parkinson's disease. Partner with a physical therapist to devise cueing strategies that improve gait and assist in initiating steps. Incorporate cadence and external rhythm metronome music into ambulation and engage in weight shift exercises. Stroke survivors. Customized programs are crucial. Prioritize symmetry-safe transfers and supervised strength training to alleviate hemiparesis. Referral to rehabilitative services is often essential. When to discontinue and seek medical assistance? Discontinue exercise immediately upon experiencing chest pain or pressure, unexplained dyspnea syncope or near syncope, abrupt severe joint pain or significant asymmetrical limb swelling. Seek prompt medical evaluation for suspected deep vein thrombosis, calf pain, swelling, heightened warmth erythema, or symptoms suggestive of cardiac events. If dizziness or visual abnormalities persist, after discontinuation, seek medical evaluation. Strategies for fall prevention. Beyond physical exercise, home modifications, secure rugs, maintain even thresholds, install grab bars in bathrooms, improve lighting, and remove clutter and trailing cords. Footwear: employ well-fitting shoes with non-slip soles. Avoid high heels and poorly fitting slippers. Consider footwear featuring rocker soles if ambulation discomfort is a problem following expert evaluation. Assistive devices: employ canes or walkers as instructed. Ensure that equipment is appropriately adjusted and in good working order. Vision and auditory evaluations: reduced sensory perception increases the risk of falls. Regular examinations and corrections are necessary. Medication assessment: some pharmaceuticals may intensify dizziness or orthostatic hypotension. Consult your clinician or pharmacist for evaluation. Incentives, adherence, and societal strategies: set realistic, achievable goals and celebrate milestones. Establish a buddy system by engaging in physical activity with a partner family member or by joining a group class. Integrate exercises into daily routines, calf raises while awaiting the kettle sit-to-stands during television advertisements. Utilize a prominent calendar or checklist to denote finished sessions. Investigate community initiatives, senior exercise classes, or supervised sessions with a physical therapist for accountability. Alternative activities to maintain engagement: dance lessons, gardening, swimming, or Tai Chi improve strength and balance training. Commonly asked troubleshooting questions. What is the expected timeline for improvement? Numerous individuals see increased stability and diminished effort in tasks within 4 to 8 weeks. Strength and muscular adaptations continue to develop gradually over several months with consistent training. What actions should I take if I encounter soreness post-exercise? Mild, delayed onset muscular soreness (DOMS) commonly arises while initiating new workouts. Participate in mild exercise, execute gentle stretching, and utilize heat or cold as required. If discomfort limits function or is severe and unusual, discontinue activities and consult a specialist. What should I do if I experience excessive fatigue? Decrease intensity and frequency, prioritize rest and nutrition, and consult a healthcare professional if exhaustion is severe or unexplained. Can this be integrated with aerobic exercise? Activities such as walking, cycling, or swimming complement these strength and balance exercises and further boost cardiovascular health. Schedule aerobic exercise on the same day or on alternate days, depending on recuperation status. Is it common for balance exercises to be difficult? Certainly, maintaining equilibrium requires both practice and attentiveness. Concise, concentrated sessions often produce better outcomes than extended, unfocused ones. Travel and environmental modifications. On travel days or flights, frequently perform seated calf raises and ankle rotations to maintain venous return. Employ hotel room facilities, durable seat surfaces to perform concise strength or balance workouts. Incorporate a resistance band for accessible progression options. Incorporate short walking intervals during prolonged drives or flights to mitigate stiffness and avert venous stasis. Principles of nutrition, hydration, and recovery. Protein intake aids in muscle recovery. Aim for approximately 1.0–1.2 g/kg of body weight per day as a general guideline for older individuals engaged in resistance training, barring contraindications related to renal disease. Consult a dietitian for tailored advice. Distribute protein consumption uniformly across meals, 20-30 grams per meal to enhance muscle protein synthesis. Ensure adequate hydration before and after physical exercise to improve circulation and recovery. Elderly individuals may have a reduced thirst response. Set reminders to regularly take water. Adequate sleep, 7 to 9 hours for most individuals, promotes recovery and the neural consolidation of motor skills acquisition. Maximize protein intake within 1 to 2 hours following exercise for maximum recovery, and seek advice from a healthcare professional regarding supplements if dietary intake is insufficient. Collaboration with caregivers and professionals. Caregivers can assist by establishing safe environments, providing preparatory support, and delivering encouragement and supervision as needed. Physical therapists conduct individualized evaluations, gait analyses, and tailored rehabilitation programs for complex disorders or post-operative recovery. They also educate caregivers on safe transfer techniques. Primary care providers can evaluate cardiovascular risk and provide medical clearance via risk stratification. Surveillance record keeping and scheduling for reevaluation. Keep a succinct record date, performed exercises, sets, repetitions, hold lengths, perceived exertion, and any symptoms encountered. Reassess functionality every 6 to 12 weeks by measuring ambulation distance, doing the timed up-and-go test, or evaluating single-leg stance duration to guide progression decisions. If no noticeable improvement is shown after 6 to 12 weeks despite adherence, consult a specialist to enhance the program or investigate any limiting factors, nutrition, sleep medication, side effects, medical comorbidities. Additional practical illustrations and case annotations. Example 1. A 68-year-old beginner in exercising with mild knee osteoarthritis. Initiate with chair-assisted squats, sit-to-stands, glute bridges, and seated calf raises. Employ a resistance band around the thighs for little hip strengthening rather than heavy standing weights. Progress to brief ambulations and integrate unsupported single-leg balance using a chair for assistance. Example 2. A 75-year-old individual with effectively controlled hypertension and adequate baseline fitness levels commence a schedule of 2 strength training sessions and 3 balance training sessions per week. Incorporate single-leg calf raises and single-leg bridges and engage in 30-40 minutes of moderate walking on alternate days. Evaluate RPE and blood pressure reactions throughout preliminary sessions. Example 3. An octogenarian exhibiting peripheral neuropathy and sensory impairments. Emphasize safety, offer handheld assistance, ensure robust footwear, and engage a caregiver for preliminary balance exercises. Utilize seated and supine strength exercises such as bridges and seated leg lifts prior to advancing to standing activities as proprioception improves. Conclusive evaluation. The aging process is an unavoidable biological occurrence. Nevertheless, the degree and pace of age-related physical decline are not predetermined. The 5 essential exercises specified: squats, calf raises, single-leg stances, glute bridges, and side leg lifts constitute a practical evidence-based tool for anyone over 60 seeking to maintain or regain physical functionality. The systematic improvement of the legs and hips, participation in balance and proprioception exercises, and regular activation of the calf muscle pump synergistically alleviate the primary functional challenges associated with aging. Committing to a consistent exercise routine is one of the most valuable investments you can make in your long-term health and independence. With regular practice, these simple movements can help you walk with greater confidence, enjoy social and recreational activities more fully, handle daily chores with ease, and live without the constant fear of falling. The journey toward better balance, strength, and vitality doesn't require fancy equipment or intense workouts. It begins with steady, mindful movement performed safely and correctly. By focusing on proper form, gradual progression, and unwavering dedication, adults over 60 can reclaim mobility, preserve independence, and experience a more energetic, fulfilling life in every sense. Every day you choose to move, your body responds with strength, balance, and renewed life. Each gentle motion is a gift to yourself, calm, mindful, and full of vitality. Together we move, we heal, and we thrive. Keep the rhythm of your golden years. Nurture health, cherish every movement.